Yo, what's up, players? What's up, pimpins? What's going on? See the big Range Rover right there? Man, listen, I just got this motherfucker back, man. The fucking bill on this car was $2,800 to fix my Range Rover. Now, and yes, I did have to pay that out of pocket. So, let me tell you how I got caught slipping. Now, my Range Rover, over the last 2.5 years since I've had it, has given me zero issues. Now, here's the thing. I was dumbfounded about that because Range Rover, I've always been told that Range Rovers had extremely bad maintenance. Where is his wife? Where's my wife? My wife drives like a slow-ass monkey. Like, damn, she's so slow. Like, how you behind me so slow? I'm in a Sentra, goddammit. But since I've had this car, I've had zero issues. I've only had to do one thing to this car in 2.5 years, and that was to replace the O2 sensors, which standard shit after 2, 3, 4 years. I mean, so that's expected maintenance. But about last week, I had got a call from a client. Now, here's the thing. I had just driven my Range Rover. I parked the fucking Range Rover at its remote location. Then the client calls me around 7:30, 8 p.m. saying that the car won't start. I'm like, well, I know I didn't leave any lights or nothing on, right? So I didn't. So I said, well, just call roadside assistance, have them come jump the car off. Roadside assistance never came. And it wasn't Turo's fault. Because I've been dealing with this from Atlanta. Tow companies for forever, where they'll tell you one ETA and then they're 2 hours later. You know what I mean? So it wasn't a Turo issue per se, because they call like 5 or 6 different roadside assistant, and whoever picks up first, that's who they go with. So he had been sitting out there for about 2.5 hours. So I just decided to go out there. So I drove the S-Class out there, and one thing, I always have a contingency plan just in case some shit goes afoul. So I drove the S-Class because that's an upgrade from the Range Rover. The Range Rover, when I bought it, cost me about $52,000. The S-Class cost me about $67,000. So it's a major upgrade. You got way more technology in it. You got the ambient lighting. To me, the S-Class is an upgrade in my book. But when people want Range Rovers, they want Range Rovers. But he had no problem doing that. So I drove down there. I tried to jump the car myself. The car would start, and immediately when you take the clamps off, it would just die. I'm like, what the hell is going on? So obviously your first thought is an alternator. So I ordered I put them in the S-Class. I ordered the alternator. It came in 2 days. I had a mobile mechanic put it on, but the car was still malfunctioning. So mind you, I've already paid $200 for them to put it in, and $250 for the alternator. So I'm already at $450. So car still one crank. What's going on? Then I read a couple forums with Range Rover is that because the mechanic said that he believed I bought a bad alternator. But the company that I bought it from online, I've bought multiple things from them. I've never had anything not work, and they always test everything before they send it out. But for some reason, it didn't work. So I took it to the shop, got it. I was able because I replaced the battery, so now I'm out $600 because I had to replace the battery too. I bought a brand new battery for the Range Rover, and the car was running solely on battery. But I was able to get it to a place in Atlanta called Atlanta Car Care, which I only deal with those guys if I think I might have a serious matter. Besides, I usually do mobile mechanics, and I never go to the dealership unless it's absolutely mandatory. Like, I just don't do dealerships. They call them stealerships for a reason. Like, they charge you for bullshit, honestly. I diagnosed the problem. It was a wiring issue with it. The car needed a thermostat, also a water pump, oil change, brand new hoses. Everything came up to about $2,800. And after they switched all the electrical systems, they found that I had another problem. The hum device that I was using to monitor the car, because I kept getting this code called invalid gateway. Invalid gateway, I didn't know what the hell that was. So the car was telling me that it don't like the hum hooked up. The hum was confusing the system and what caused the wires and everything to malfunction and burn out. So we had to replace the whole wiring system from that to the alternator, because what was happening was it wasn't the computers wasn't getting a signal to the alternator to kick in. So the car was just running straight battery. The alternator wasn't even bad. So my dumb ass, and this is why you always, at least if you're not going to deal with a dealership, at least let them do the diagnosis so you know what to do after that. You can always, take your car from, and I think a diagnosis would have cost me $150 to $200. That's still cheaper than buying a brand new battery, still cheaper than paying a mobile mechanic and getting a part you don't need. So I would have saved $450 right there. So the tab on everything came up to $2,800. The Range Rover, as you see, is headed out on a rental. Thank God it's going out for $600, so it's making back some of the money I've lost. But I was also able to pay it with my Amazon store. Now I have to bring that up, guys, because I just hit a milestone. I have never done $100,000 worth of sales ever on my Amazon store. The closest I've ever gotten, let me see, let me just bring it up, I'll just show you guys. The closest I think I've ever gotten was 86,000. So we just started our sales today, but as you guys can see, I'm at $99,000. I'm almost at $100,000 in sales, in revenue in 1 month. Now, of course, that's not all profit, but if you had to guess how much I'm making off of that, it's about $18,000 to $20,000 in just 1 month. So, I was able to use that money to pay for the Range Rover, because the Range Rover literally, guys, let me tell you how pissed I am. It literally just got out of its extended warranty. It literally just hit, I think the miles, I had it cover up to 100,000 miles. Like I said, no issues, just O2 sensors, and that was covered. It just hit 103, and I just had these issues, man. So, but like I said, the silver lining is, luckily I had a different source of income to pay for that shit, man. Man, I can't tell y'all as an entrepreneur how important it is to have multiple streams of income, because anything can go wrong with any business. I had a few months ago, someone stole the refrigerator out of one of my Airbnb homes. No, I'm not bullshitting. A whole refrigerator got stolen out of the home, and it was an Airbnb scammer guest. They took the refrigerator, they took some of the TVs. Now, here's the thing: Airbnb does compensate me for that, but it takes them weeks to get back. And thank God it happened back then, because if it was during this coronavirus, I doubt I even been taken care of. But the good thing was, because of my Amazon store, I was able to go purchase another refrigerator. Got one for the low, had them delivered to the bought some cheap ass TVs online, and Airbnb still compensated me for more than what it's worth. Like, the refrigerator cost me like $1,200. I bought one for like $400. You know what I mean? That's with installation. So I ended up coming up on a deal. But yo, $2,800, man. Like, that's what I'm trying to tell you. If you got these used cars with these high mileage, they may be good for a while, but expect those issues. Now, that was a major issue with this Range Rover. So guess what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna either get rid of this truck, which I don't want to, because it's been amazing. I'm either gonna get rid of it, or I'm just gonna find another extended warranty and extend it to about 140,000 miles, then get rid of the car. Because again, you know what I mean? Obviously, I'm gonna have a little bit of a negative, not much, but I'm gonna have a little bit of negative equity on the vehicle. So I can definitely probably just jump into something else, like another Range Rover or a GLE or something like that. But I don't know. But guys, just today's topic is just having multiple streams of income. I can't tell you how blessed I am that I was able to do that. If you want an Amazon store, hit me up, man. I got all the info. It is a $25,000 investment, so I won't sugarcoat, and a lot of y'all act like it's something cheap. Technically it is, if you consider what all you're getting for that price, but Some people don't have 25 grand lying around, but if you got it on credit cards, like some of the people who I've turned on had, you good to go, dog. But in this epidemic, and now here's the thing, this is why I've done 100 grand. I didn't just do that just because. I won't lie, like I did 100 grand because of the coronavirus, because people are scared to go shop in stores, because people want to avoid large crowds. That's why I did 100 grand. If it wasn't for the coronavirus, I would have did about my normal $50,000, $60,000 in sales. You know what I mean? Which still ain't bad, but it ain't 100 grand, dog. So, y'all peace, man. Like I said, multiple streams of income, dog. That's the word of the day. Peace.